If you're a grandparent and those grandkids are living under your roof because their mom and dad can't be there, then Social Security may owe you a monthly check for raising them, and there is a very good chance nobody at that agency has ever picked up the phone to tell you. It's not welfare. It's not a favor. It's a benefit that pays off your own work record or your late spouse's, and it can run to 75% of that record every single month. Stay with me, because the part most people get wrong, the one thing that quietly disqualifies families who absolutely should be getting paid, I'm saving for the end. Let me be straight with you about who this is for, because I already know what half of you are thinking. You're thinking, that's for foster parents, or that's for people on assistance. Wrong. And the other half of you are thinking your income's too high to qualify, so why bother? Also wrong. This has nothing to do with your income and nothing to do with being poor. If you worked, if you paid into Social Security across your life, and you are now raising a grandchild, this benefit is built on the taxes you already paid. You earned it. The only question is whether you know to ask. Quick and honest note before we go further, I'm not a lawyer and I'm not with Social Security. What I'm giving you is the plain English version of the actual rules, so you walk into that office knowing exactly what to say. Do me one favor while we go. If you're raising a grandchild right now, type their age in the comments. I want to see how many of you this touches, because I think it's a lot more than the agency would ever admit. So here's how it actually works. Social Security has always paid what they call a dependent benefit to the child of a worker. When a working parent retires, becomes disabled, or dies, their minor child can draw a monthly check on that parent's record. Most people know that part. What almost nobody knows is that a grandchild can stand in that exact same spot. If you are raising your grandchild, the government can treat that child as your dependent for benefit purposes and pay a check on your record the same way it would for your own son or daughter. Think about what that means. You spent 40 years working. Every paycheck, a piece went to Social Security. That built a number, your benefit amount, what the agency calls your primary insurance amount. When you claim, you get the whole thing, but a dependent child in your care can draw a check on top of that, worth up to half of your amount while you're living, up to 50%. On a $2,000 benefit, that's $1,000 a month for that child. Real money. Money for shoes, for groceries, for the doctor visit you've been putting off paying. And if you've already lost your spouse, it can climb higher. When the worker whose record the child draws on has passed away, that child's benefit jumps to 75% of the record. So a grandmother raising her grandbaby on her late husband's work history can see a check worth 3/4 of what he earned, coming in every month for that child. Let that sit for a second. 75%. Nobody sends you a letter about it. You have to know it exists and go ask. Let me put your own number in front of you, because this shouldn't stay abstract. Find roughly what your monthly benefit is, then cut it in half. If your check is $1,500 a month, a dependent grandchild could draw around $750. If it's $2,000, figure $1,000. If it's $2,500, you're looking at somewhere near $1,250 a month for that child. And on a late spouse's record, don't have it, take 3/4. That's your ballpark. I can't run your exact figures for you, and I won't pretend to, but that gives you the shape of what's sitting there unclaimed. Now, before you get on the phone, I have to walk you through the rules, because this is exactly where good families get tripped up. Social Security doesn't just hand this out because a kid sleeps at your house. There's a test, and you need to pass it clean. First rule, the child has to actually be your dependent, and the agency defines that in a very specific way. The grandchild must have started living with you before they turned 18, and you must have been providing at least half of that child's support for the full year before you became entitled to your benefit. Half their support, for a year. If the child came to you as a baby less than a year before you claimed, then you have to show you've supported them since birth. Write this down, because it matters. Keep your records. Every receipt, every bill in your name for that child, every doctor form with your address on it. The agency loves paper, and this is the piece they push back on hardest. And I'll be honest with you, half support is where the gray area lives. What counts? Housing, food, clothing, medical care, school costs, the rent or mortgage on the roof over that child's head, their share of the groceries, the co-pays, the winter coat, the backpack in September. If you're the one paying for more than half of all that, you meet the test, even if a small check comes in now and then from somewhere else. The way you win this is simple and boring. You document it. Total up a year of what that child costs and what you put toward it, and keep it in a folder. When the agency asks, and they will ask, you hand them proof instead of a story. Second rule, and this is the big one. The child's own parents, the mother and the father, generally have to be out of the picture in terms of support. That means the biological parents are deceased, or they have a disability severe enough that they can't provide, or you have legally adopted the grandchild yourself. And even if a parent is alive, they can't be making regular contributions to the child's support. If mom is sending money every month for food and clothes, the agency sees the child as her dependent, not yours. So this benefit is really built for the situation you already know too well. The parents are gone, or so deep in their own trouble that a grandparent stepped in and became the whole world for that child. Here's a wrinkle that catches people, so listen close. If you have already claimed your Social Security before the grandchild comes into your care, then a court adoption is usually required for that child to draw on your record. If you're raising them but haven't formally adopted and you're already collecting, the agency can turn you away on that alone. That single fact has cost families thousands because they didn't know the timing mattered. Let me put a real face on this, the kind of family I mean. Picture a woman, retired, drawing her own Social Security. Her daughter has fallen into addiction and can't care for her two little ones, so those kids move in with grandma. She feeds them, clothes them, gets them to school, does every single thing a parent does. On paper, she's just a grandmother helping out. But under these rules, if she supported those children for the year before she claimed, and the parents aren't contributing, those two grandchildren may each be owed a monthly benefit on her record. 2 checks. She wasn't gaming anything. She was doing the hardest, most loving work there is. And the system already had money set aside for it. She just never knew to ask. That's the part that genuinely bothers me. This isn't a loophole. It's written right into the law, and it has been for years. The reason so few grandparents collect it isn't that they don't qualify. It's that nobody tells them. And the application isn't something you can just click through online. It takes a phone call and a real conversation. So how do you actually claim it? Here's the path, step by step. You call Social Security directly. The number is 1-800-772-1213. When you get a person, you do not say, "I'd like to see if my grandkids qualify for anything." That gets you a shrug. You say the exact words. You say, "I am raising my grandchild, and I want to file for child's benefits on my record as their grandparent." Ask for it by name. Child's benefits. Then you tell them the child lives with you, that you've provided more than half their support, and that the parents aren't contributing. That sentence puts you on the right track from the first minute. Bring your ammunition. You'll want the child's birth certificate, their Social Security number, proof they live with you, and any court papers, guardianship, or adoption. And the support records, the year of receipts and bills showing you carried that child. The stronger your paper, the faster this moves. Now let me flag one ceiling so you're not blindsided, because I'd rather you hear it from me than get surprised at the office. There's a limit on how much a single family can pull from one work record. It's called the family maximum, and for a retirement record it runs somewhere between 150 and about 188% of your benefit amount. What that means in plain English is this. If you're raising 3 grandchildren, they don't each get a clean 50% stacked on top of each other with no cap. The agency adds up what everyone in the family is drawing, and if it crosses that ceiling, they trim each dependent check down so the total fits. So 1 grandchild in your care usually gets the full amount. Several grandchildren still get real money, just divided under that cap. Either way, it is money landing in your home that was not landing there before. Let me answer the question I can feel some of you asking. Is this going to cut my own check? No. You keep your full benefit, every dollar of it. The child's benefit is paid on top of yours, out of the family maximum room, not carved out of your monthly amount. Your check doesn't shrink, theirs simply gets added. And here's a number to hold in your head about why this matters right now. In 2026, with the cost of living raise, the average retired worker's benefit is around $2,071 a month. Run the math on a dependent child at half of that. You're talking roughly $1,000 a month for one child that a qualifying grandparent might be leaving on the table. Over a single year, that's around $12,000. Over the years you'll be raising that child, it climbs into real life-changing territory. This is not pocket change. This is a car that runs, a winter coat that fits, a little breathing room in a house that hasn't had any in a long time. Now, before you go, the one mistake I promised at the very top, the thing that quietly knocks out families who should absolutely be getting paid, it's the support test and it's the timing of it. So many grandparents lose this not because the child doesn't qualify, but because they can't prove they provided half the child's support for that full year before they claimed, or because they'd already started their own benefits and never adopted. They had the child. They were doing the work, they just didn't have the paper, or they didn't know the timing rule. Do not let that be you. If those grandkids are with you, start keeping the records today. And if you've already claimed and haven't adopted, that's the conversation to have with the office now, not later. The rule isn't there to stop you. It's there to be proven, and you can prove it. Let me bring it home. A dependent check for a grandchild in your care, up to half your record while you're living, up to 75% if you're claiming on a spouse who's passed. Built on the work you already did, paid on top of your own benefit, not out of it. Claimed by calling that number and asking for child's benefits by name, with your support records in hand, and guarded most tightly by that one support and timing rule that nobody warns you about. The grandparents who collect this aren't luckier than you, and they didn't get some special favor. They're just the ones who found out it existed. You know now. So here's what I want you to do with it. Send this to one person, just one, who's raising a grandchild. Somebody in your church, on your street, in your own family. They may be sitting on a check they have no idea is theirs, and one message from you could change their whole year. If this helped you see something the agency never bothered to explain, give it a like so it reaches the next grandparent who needs it, and subscribe to channel name, so the next time a rule like this gets buried, you're the one who hears about it first. And tell me down in the comments, are you raising a grandchild right now, or do you know a family who is? Say it out loud, because I promise you, you are not the only one, and somebody reading these needs to know they're not alone in it either. I'm rooting for you and those kids. Take that phone number, make the call, and go get what's already yours.